Drop it! Don't do it!
CBS's popular show, Blue Bloods, is a crime-based drama that follows a multi-generational family of cops dedicated to the New York City law enforcement. And whether you're looking for other shows to binge, or just looking for shows to fill up the gap in between seasons, we've got you. In this video, we'll be going over some of these shows that are similar to Blue Bloods that you might just fall in love with. But before we get into the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel with notifications on so you don't miss any of the new videos we post. To start off the list, NBC's Chicago P.D. is a great show to watch if you love Blue Bloods. Similar to Blue Bloods, Chicago P.D. follows the men and women of the Chicago Police Department as they combat some of the city's most heinous offenses. Not to mention the show's executive producer, Emmy Award-winning Dick Wolf, who is also known for some of the other shows he's been a part of, such as Law and Order, FBI, and more, which will be talked about later on. While the show follows the Chicago Police Department of District 21, there are actually two distinctly different groups that make up the department: the uniformed cops who patrol and deal with the city's street crimes, and the intelligence unit that combats the city's major offenses, such as organized crime, high-profile murders, and much more. However, the Chicago PD mainly focuses on the department's intelligence unit. At the center of the intelligence unit is Sergeant Hank Voight, who's played by Jason Begay. Sergeant Voight is definitely not against crossing the legal and ethical lines to keep the city he loves secure and safe. Working alongside Sergeant Voight is Detective Antonio Dawson, played by John Seda, who is a bit more level-headed and aims to act as a role model for the younger officers. Rising through the ranks is the young detective Jay Halstead, played by Jesse Lee Soffer, alongside as his partner is Sophia Bush, who's played by tough detective Aaron Lindsay. Overall, Chicago PD is pretty similar to Blue Bloods in the sense of following a group of cops dealing with crimes throughout their city. So if you're looking for some action and drama, this show is the one for you. Second up is yet another popular show, Criminal Minds. Although the show wrapped up its final season back in February of 2020, the show is still a great one to watch, and the best part is you can binge through the many 15 seasons. Being one of CBS's longest-running drama shows, Criminal Minds is about a group of criminal profilers who work for the FBI as members of its Behavioral Analysis Unit, known as the BAU. The show follows the team as they work through various cases and deal with their own personal struggles. Some of the iconic cast members of the show include Matthew Gray Gubler as Spencer Reed, Lola Gladini playing Elle, AJ Cook as Jennifer, Kirsten Vangsness as Penelope, Mandy Patinkin as Jason, Thomas Gibson as Aaron, and Shamar Moore playing the role of Derek. Both Blue Bloods and Criminal Minds are alike as they both generally include a team of people solving complex big city crimes. This show mainly focuses on the main characters working through criminal cases, so if you're interested in that, this show is a great choice. Third on this list is CBS's NCIS. The concept and characters of the show were originally introduced in 2 episodes of CBS's series JAG. The show finally premiered back in 2003 and has gone on to its 18th season, with it also being renewed for yet another season in 2021. To sum up NCIS, it's an American police procedural drama television series revolving around a team of special agents from the Naval Criminal Investigative Service, which conducts criminal investigations involving the U.S. Navy and Marine Corps. Some of its amazing cast includes Mark Harum, who plays Leroy Gibbs, Polly Perrette as Abby, Sean Murray as Timothy, and Michael Weatherly as Anthony. Although there are a lot of episodes of NCIS to go through, the show is definitely worth watching, especially for anyone who loves a good cop show. Next up is the show True Detective. HBO's True Detective is an American crime drama series created and written by Nick Pizzolatto. The series premiered back in 2014, and since then, 3 seasons have aired. The series is an anthology, with each season bringing about a new case and a new case in different settings. In season 1, it focuses on 2 detectives, played by Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey, when they end up crossing paths while hunting a serial killer in Louisiana. The series features multiple timelines to trace the hunt of the 2 detectives, jumping in time from the first case opening in 1995 to 2012, when the case is reopened. The second season brings together 3 law enforcement officers who are played by Colin Farrell, Rachel McAdams, and Taylor Kitsch, as well as a career criminal played by Vince Vaughn. Each of them must navigate a web of conspiracy and betrayal in the scorched lands of California. Lastly, Season 3 plays out through 3 separate time periods. This season tells the story of a gruesome crime in the heart of the Ozarks and a mystery that opens over decades. It starts off in 2015 when a retired detective, played by Warasala Ali, has a failing memory. He then looks back at the disappearance of 10-year-old Julie and 12-year-old Will. The retired detective recalls the days and weeks immediately following the 1980 crime as well as the developments later in 1990, when his former partner, played by Stephen Dorff, was subpoenaed after a major break in the case. Though this cop series isn't too far different from the much-loved Blue Bloods, it's definitely a great show full of heart-thumping action and great storytelling. The 5th show we present to you is Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which is an American police procedural comedy which first premiered in 2013 and is set for its 8th and final season. The show features actors such as Andy Samberg, who plays Jake Peralta, a detective who's a good enough cop that he's never had to work that hard or really follow the rules. Perhaps because he has the best arrest record among all his colleagues, he's been enabled throughout his entire career. That is, until the precinct gets a new commanding officer, played by Andre Brower, who reminds him that he needs to respect the badge. Close behind Jake is the very competitive detective Santiago, who's played by Gossip Girl's Melissa Fumero. But unlike Jake, she's aware of how many arrests she needs to make in order to close the gap between him and herself. Also working in Brooklyn Nine-Nine's precinct is Sergeant Terry Jeffords, played by Terry Crews, who's a linebacker of a man who has lost his nerve because he couldn't imagine not seeing his 2 daughters grow up. Detective Charles Boyle, played by Joe Truglio, who's most known for his role in Wreck-It Ralph, is the precinct's workhorse. While he idolizes Jake, he's not the most brilliant or physically gifted, but he tries harder than anyone else. However, he stands no chance against the tough and scary detective Rosa Diaz, who's played by Modern Family's Stephanie Beatrice. Lastly, we have Chelsea Peretti, who plays the eccentric civilian manager Gina, who also seems to somehow get involved in everyone's business. Together, this tightly knit, or some may say tightly wounded, cops interrogate suspects, arrest perps, and solve murders. But ultimately, Brooklyn Nine-Nine is a workplace comedy that's not really focused on actual job, it's rather about the men and women behind the badge, singing karaoke, hitting on each other, and grabbing beer, all while protecting the people of Brooklyn. The next show isn't quite as much a comedy as the last one, but it's still a great action-packed option. CBS's FBI, which is also a result of Dick Wolf's efforts, is a fast-paced drama about the inner workings of the New York office of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. The series centers on Special Agent Maggie Bell, played by Missy Peregrine, who is a 3-year veteran of the Bureau's Manhattan office. Alongside her is her partner, Omar Adam, who is Zico Zaki. Omar is a Bureau newcomer and a Queens, New York native who previously worked undercover for the Drug Enforcement Administration. There's plenty of action that goes on in the series, and creator Dick Wolf stated that FBI will only deal with crimes beyond the scope of police departments, the kind you see in Chicago P.D. So if this action-packed drama series seems interesting to you, it's yet another great choice right next to Blue Bloods. The last show we'll be talking about today is CBS's Magnum P.I. This American action drama takes place in the same fictional universe as 2 other series, Hawaii Five-0 and MacGyver. These 3 shows have been collectively referred to as the Lenkov-verse. The show is about a reboot of the series of the same name, which aired back in 1980 for 8 years. Magnum P.I. stars Jay Hernandez as Thomas Magnum, a private investigator and former Navy SEAL who solves crimes in Hawaii. It also stars Perdita Weeks as Juliet Higgins, who eventually becomes Magnum's full-time partner in Season 2. Magnum is also usually assisted by 2 former U.S. Marines, Rick Wright and T.C. Calvin, both played by Zachary Knighton and Stephen Hill. The series first aired back in 2018 and has already been renewed for a 4th season. Overall, this show is full of action and drama as it follows around Magnum and his crew as they solve crimes in the beautiful Hawaii. So if you love some action and love comedy here and there, Magnum P.I. is a great show for you. With that said, that's going to wrap up this video. Thanks for watching.